Baby Jesus and president.
You know that too.
Jonathan Lindale Kirk, aka Dababy, born December 22nd, 1991. Today's feature is an artist that really had promise when he began his rise in hip-hop. His run from early 2019 to summer 2021 was unprecedented for an artist in today's internet streaming era. His first 3 albums has had some of the biggest success of any hip-hop artist in that span. The first peaking in the top 10 on Billboard, his sophomore effort 7 months later landed at #1 on the charts, featuring multi-platinum singles Bop, Intro, and Vibez that continued on the success of his first album singles like the catchy internet sensation Suge that sold 4 million records and stamped Baby as one of the top rappers going forward. Album 3 was confirmation of that, landing at #1 as well, making back-to-back chart-topping albums for the Charlotte rapper. His song Rockstar, as of now, is his biggest selling single to date. Compared to other top hip-hop artists since 2019 like Lil Durk, Kodak Black, and NBA Youngboy to name a few, Dababy has had 3 straight platinum albums, while none of the aforementioned 3 can say the same. Fan of his music or not, Dababy has had the hot start you could only hope for as an artist entering the music industry. That had credibility as a guy. If shown respect, the same would be reciprocated, and if not, then ask the ones who's no longer here that tried him. This all elevated his image and brand, and who knows what that would have done to help his 4th installment, released in September 2022, that by all reports was a massive flop compared to the success he's had earlier, selling under 20,000 first week. Of course, these aren't the final numbers, and who knows what the album will become, but coming from selling 124K in the first 7 days on his last project, it's safe to say that the disconnect somewhere is real and can mean grave consequences for his music career. In light of the poor sales news, many have responded in Dababy's defense, saying he may be the latest hip-hop artist to be blackballed by outlets like Apple Music and other streaming platforms, which is where the bulk of artist sales come from today. DJ Academic's hip-hop blogger has even went as far as to point the finger at Ebro Darden, global editorial head of hip-hop and R&B for Apple Music, the biggest music streaming platform arguably in the world. If you didn't know, Dababy has been under fire for his assumed homophobic remarks made at his July 2021 Rolling Loud show that caused an internet and cancel culture uproar, made worse when he refused to apologize for the statements. It seems even his own fan base has turned on him at this point, and for the following reasons, his growth was stunted. Let's talk about it. It's your boy JC, Stunted Growth Music. Let's get it, man.
You didn't show up today with HIV, AIDS, any of them deadly sexually transmitted diseases. Fellas, if you ain't sucking nigga in the parking lot, put your cell phone like that.
Y'all ready to keep this thing moving?
Dababy is a rap artist born in Cleveland, Ohio that moved to Charlotte, North Carolina at a young age, where he spent the rest of his formative years. His favorite artist was none other than 50 Cent, who he's been compared to in his abrasive approach to street conflict and entrance into the music industry with his me against everybody attitude. He went by the name Baby Jesus when he first began taking music seriously and began releasing a plethora of mixtapes under the name, eventually changing it because he said it caused too much distraction. After building local success, Dababy began showing up to major music events like South by Southwest in a full-on diaper and doing live in-street performances as a creative way to attract attention. Safe to say it worked because the internet picked it up and labels began bidding more for his services by 2018. He signed with Interscope Records 2019 and wasted no time releasing one of the biggest songs that year, Suge, before being invited to be a part of the infamous 2019 XXL freshman class, who all seemed to struggle in one way or the other in 2022. Stunt number 1, Pride. You know what they say, pride goeth before the fall. Let's just get it out right now so we can move on from the obvious. Dababy is being blackballed. If that's not clear, then I don't know the sky's color. He went from 3 straight platinum albums and topping the charts to all of a sudden he's nowhere to be found. Like mentioned, he made comments back in July 2021 that weren't too flattering to the gay community. Comments I don't even think were that bad, but where he misread the room was not following those up with a retraction or sincere apology or even both. There's nothing wrong with saying you were wrong, especially in the position Dababy was in as an artist that finally made it and now was eating at the top of the food chain. But pride couldn't allow him to do that. Instead, he doubled down on challenging the internet and cancel culture, saying things like you can't cancel the influence and posting videos on Instagram Live, seemingly unbothered by the attempts to cancel him. Pride is what got him to where he is today, and ultimately, pride is what has him in the situation he's in now, where he can't do shows on the same level he was just a year ago. The prices have for sure went down, and his music isn't being picked up, playlisted, and shared like it once was. All because he was too prideful in that one all too important moment in his career. Like I said, pride is what got him here. One of the reasons fans like Dababy is because of all the rappers he actually proves that he lives what he raps and that people have died trying to test him in the streets. And back in 2018, he went viral for not allowing himself to be pressed in a hood he wasn't from. That pride made him famous. This time, pride is coming to collect. Think of the internet, cancel culture, and the LGBTQ+ community as their own gang. Fighting all in this climate is different from fighting one guy or his gang in the streets. Their power is at an all-time high, and I'm sure Dababy didn't mean to offend them, but a pride overload in his response to the backlash most definitely was an ongoing battle that does have him blackballed and unable to ascend like he was supposed to. Stunt number 2, the music. Whenever a music artist is under any sort of controversy and is so-called blackballed, one thing that helps him still connect to his fan base is good music. Music that's fresh, quality, and has evolved with the fans as time goes on. Take an artist like Kanye West, for example. King of controversy and just as prideful, if not more, than Dababy. But whenever Kanye is caught in controversy to a battle he can't win by his brand or online presence, he follows that up with making great music. If you look at who Kanye was in the beginning and how many times he has reinvented himself, you will understand why he's the richest rapper of all time, all while being as controversial as they come. Dababy has been criticized by borderline fans who are on the fence supporting his music because he isn't evolving. They accuse his songs of always sounding the exact same, from his flow, even his presentation in the form of videos. Most of them are still a play on the whole Feel Mob inspired humor and animated editing that makes all his videos almost the exact same. When he did it in Suge and Bop, it was new to this era and fresh to see that style continue, but then it got stale even to his core fans. Dababy has to evolve his flow, visuals, and as a brand within the music, or risk being an artist who had a hot run but couldn't make the transition. Stunt number 3, flopping. And lastly, I think Dababy is in an interesting place from the outside looking in, where he was once a platinum selling artist to now his last album recently flopped in sales and reception, who will have an uphill battle reviving his career from here. It's not usual you see an artist flop and then regain steam and go platinum or even become sought after artist ever again. Add to that, he is still defiant and still blackballed within the industry for his remarks, and at this point can't even apologize for his actions because no one would take it as sincere. Instead, an artist looking to change his misfortunes now that his music isn't doing well and not many venues will book him. He's sadly become a casualty of the game. Artists like NBA Youngboy, Tekashi 6ix9ine, and Lil Boosie can attest to this all for different reasons, but the result is the same. They were defiant and prideful in their response to certain situations, and now their music is being affected. NBA Youngboy has a core he knows how to connect with, and he understands that his work ethic and his music will continue to push him through his supposed blackball. 6ix9ine is finished. His music is not good and he doesn't work hard enough. Boosie, like Dababy, was cancelled for remarks against D-Wade's family choices and also, in my opinion, doesn't make good music that can translate outside the hood. Dababy has a lot of image work to be done. Sadly, he may have dug a hole he can't climb out of at this point. All in all, Dababy had a nice run if it all ends here. He wore a diaper to get on, man. If that doesn't show he wants the life he had, I don't know what will. But he had it. How much sympathy can you have for a guy that had it all and gave it all away because he couldn't feel vulnerable for one instance? Had he made a clear and sincere apology in a timely manner, no one would even remember that. But sadly, for these reasons, his growth is being stunted. Salute, much respect. It's your boy JC, Stunted Growth Music, and I'm out.